Hello, I'm John Holmes, and this, I'm sorry to say, is the last edition of Spare Time. Tonight we're flying up, up and away in hot air balloons and then being brought right back down to earth, watching a group of young volunteers messing about in ponds and other things, helping to keep our fine old English heritage on the go. If all that's too much for you, then soothe away your tensions with the gentle art of yoga. And of course, with this evening's Spare Time music makers, the West Midlands Barbershop Harmony Club. We've two numbers from them, one for the whole chorus later on, and this song from the quartet.
Pardon me there, stranger, but my name is Brown. I overheard you saying you were leaving town. I've done lots of traveling, and if I may boast, everybody's heard of me from coast to coast. Mention my name in Sheboygan, it's the greatest little town in the world. Just tell them all you're an old friend of mine, and every door will have a welcome sign. So mention my name in Sheboygan, and if you ever get in a jam, just mention my name. I said mention my name, but please don't tell them where I am. Mention my name in Paducah, it's the greatest little town in the world. I know a gal there you'll simply adore. She's the one that I adore. So mention my name in Paducah, and if you ever get in a mess, just mention my name. I said mention my name, but please don't give them my address. Mention my name in Altoona, it's the greatest little town in the world. I know the big shots in their city hall, they've even got my picture on the post office wall. So mention my name in Altoona, and if you ever get in a spat, just mention my name. I said mention my name, but please don't tell them where I'm at. But after thinking it over, thank you just the same. It might be better not to mention my name.
Well, despite all that, their name is Chime Gentlemen from the West Midland Barbershop Harmony Club. So there. Now, how would you fancy spending a whole week of hard-earned holiday working outside in all weathers and actually paying for the privilege? Well, that's what the National Trust Acorn camps offer you. Ronnie Hayward went to see one industrious group near Droitwich, helping to keep Hanbury Hall in acorn pie order.
The life of a comedian is usually spent in well-upholstered ashtrays. That's why this week I'm participating in a healthy form of recreation. I've joined a group of young people who are spending their spare time at one of the National Trust's Acorn camps. We're here doing our bit to preserve the British countryside. The rolling green hills, pastures, trees, flowers, great houses. They're all here, you know, buried beneath lemonade bottles, empty fag packets, courting couples. That, in case you didn't realise, was a comedian's ha-ha. The scheme here is to renovate a real ha-ha. But I'll tell you about that later, after I've reported for duty. Morning.
Morning.
Sorry I'm late. You're getting on well without me anyway. What are you up to?
Pond clearance.
Pond clearance, yes?
All the mud, original mud, what's built up through the years, we're clearing it out right to the original bank edge, and then hoping the water will rise a lot more At the moment it's low because it was drained earlier on in the year for some work to be done. But we're hoping that a lot more rain and this pond will be full to the top and it should be back to its glory.
All of this work must be done by hand, is that the idea?
At this point, yes, because if you got mechanical excavators or anything like that, it would virtually destroy the bank at the side. So it's just virtual manual work.
And they reseed the bank and it'll be back to its former glory?
It should be, yes, we hope.
And when you've washed, you'll be back to your former glories, won't you?
Yes, it takes some time as
It's
well.
unusual to see ladies helping in this sort of work. All part of the National Trust Acorn camp scheme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it your first time, Vicky?
No, it's second time.
You obviously enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, I like the people, you know. And I didn't mind the work, because it's a good laugh, really.
What about you, Gary?
I come from Lancing in Sussex. We're here for the first time. It's mainly for the Duke of Edinburgh's awards scheme. But we like doing the work, like clearing the place up, actually. It's a sense of achievement after it's all done. You know, we did the corner there yesterday, and it looks much better now, you know, so it gives us more sort of encouragement to carry on.
Is this your first one?
It is indeed, yes.
And you'll come again?
Oh, I suspect so, yes.
How did... Was this put to you through the Duke of Edinburgh's awards scheme?
No, we read it in the local press, actually, and we found out that it would carry this part of the syllabus as well, so it's working two ways for us, really, as a holiday and part of the scheme. That's not too bad at all.
What about at the end of the day? Do you all flop out, absolutely shattered?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite.
We'll soon get refreshed.
A drop of Yorkshire bitter.
Well, yes.
Is there anything that I can do to help you?
Well, you can carry this bucket up.
That one there?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much. Oh, dear. I wish I hadn't asked. Oh. The leader of this camp is Bruce Edwards. Bruce, what sort of people come?
I would think the average would be an 18 and a half year old who would be perhaps in first year of university vacation. That might well be the average. But we will get last year of school leavers, students of all types. We'll get young professional people. I mean, on this camp, we've got a postman, we've got a clock restorer, you see, a wide range.
You get people coming back year after year?
Yes, yes. The diehards, the people who really, really enjoy it, can get their teeth into the projects, will come back year after year. The average return, perhaps 1/3.
What happens with regard to board and lodging? You give them that, do you?
No, we can't do that. We can't afford, shall I say, to subsidise holiday recreation in the open air, regrettably perhaps. So we do ask for a contribution towards their board and lodging. This year it's been running at £7.50, and that's for a week. Not bad, you perhaps say. They are also expected to get themselves to the camp, or at least to the railhead, and we will fetch them in from the railhead. So there is expense attached to it, and it's a very nice thing in this day and age to find that there are youngsters who are prepared to come out and work and not expect to be paid for it.
Bruce, I reckon it's time we set to, don't you?
I quite agree.
Go and get on with some work. What are we up to here?
We're trying to reduce the shrubbery back to something that it would have been at if the house had had its full establishment of gardeners all the way through. So what we're doing now is taking the top off, and hopefully the remaining stumps will bring shoots back, which will give us that full layer of cover again, the rhododendrons and the laurels in their full sort of glory that they would have been when the house was originally lived in. So it looks a bit sparse now, but given a year or two's time, it'll thicken out, and we'll get new stuff planted, you know, like this here, which will gradually help to bring the whole thing back into perspective.
Well, I promised you a ha-ha, and here it is. And if you're wondering what a ha-ha is, it's an ancient form of keeping cattle, sheep, deer from your lawns. This one here has got in a pretty sorry state, as you can see, and the lads are helping put it back to its original state. Bert Dalton.
Yes, it's me.
You look a bit of an expert.
Well, we have been at it a good many years.
I thought you looked a bit old to be a teenager.
Well, the one has to do something in their retirement.
Oh, you're a retired bricklayer?
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Yes, we're finished now. Just waiting for old age to catch up on us, you know.
And this is the first time you've helped out at an Acorn camp?
Yes, this is so. I'd come along, I thought we'd do a bit myself and also give the other lads a bit of a hand to try and bring them on a bit. Then perhaps if they do go to another camp, they can do some themselves.
Without tuition, of course?
Yes.
You've enjoyed working with them?
I have very, very much. This is my first one, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, they say hard work never did anybody any harm. But right now, I think I might be doing myself a mischief. You see, this is called yoga. Well, it's my version of it anyway. Unfortunately, I've got Rosalind Widdowson with me. Rosalind, you're not only an expert, you teach it, you've written a book about it. This is how it all begins. And is it?
Well, don't try so hard.
Because I can't say it does you any good. I mean, I feel as though I'll never be able to get out of this position.
Well, we perhaps should go back to the basics. You're trying, you know, to climb the rostrum a bit too soon.
Is that right?
Yes. Perhaps we ought to do something to stretch your tendons in the back of your legs.
Oh? How do we do that?
We do it with a monkey pose. Well, we're going to do it today, I hope. And that stretches the legs and the hips. I'll show it to you and you can try.
Monkey pose, right.
You just push the hips forward, like that. And ease yourself down.
What? I never do that.
Well, have a try.
Really?
Yes.
What? You're joking. What?
Yes.
Well, yes, so I go like that?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Push very gently, push your hips forward. Now ease it. And stop at the point of stretch.
I can't get back up again.
Well, your other side might be better, but...
Would it? I don't... Well, I'm not very good at it, am I?
Well, it takes time. You have to be patient with yoga. It's not an instant thing.
Can I get out of this position? I don't find it very relaxing at all.
Bring your knees together. That's
how,
lovely.
How do you start? I mean, what is the right age to start? Because obviously I'm a bit late.
Well, any age, but the earlier the better, I suppose. I have got exercise that I do with a baby.
You can start it as young as this?
Well,
this is Mark, is it?
Yes, this is Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Hello. Would you like to lie down?
And how old's Mark?
Mark's 18 months, and he does these little stretches, the monkey pose, lying down, because, of course, he's only just started to walk, and then you do it the other side. And then the ankle stretching, this is most important. And you get the soles of the feet on the stomach.
Doesn't seem to bother him at all, does it?
No. Well, he's used to it because he does it regularly, which is really what you have to do with all the asanas.
Now, Kay and Keith are with us,
Yes.
and they're going to show us the intermediate stage.
Yes.
Now, how long have Kay and Keith been doing this?
About 6 or 7 years.
Right, let's see them in action. Beautiful to watch. What good does it do you, though?
Well, it relaxes you physically, and of course then it affects the way that you think. If your body's supple, naturally your mind becomes clearer.
I assume it's not just then the physical side, moving about, there's other things to it.
Yes, because it's a natural thing, you think about the way that you feed your body, and art becomes more interesting, and all the senses are improved.
Does that mean you have, for instance, a special diet?
Yes, I think you do, really. You don't have to be a vegetarian or anything, but the way that you eat improves. It's just a natural process.
And now they've been doing it for 6 or 7 years. How long have you been actually doing yoga?
Since I was about 3 or 4.
So you've been supple all this time?
Yes, on and off. It's a daily thing, really.
Well, you're the expert. Are you going to give us a demonstration?
Yes, I'd love to.
Lovely. I'd like to watch it. We'll give you all the room you can have. There we are. That's truly remarkable, isn't it? Rosalind, thank you very much for coming in. And this would certainly seem to be something that all age groups can enjoy. I can assure you of that. Now here's another spare time activity that's really got off the ground. It's 6:30 in the morning, and these are the John Player British Ballooning Championships. They're being held at Woollerton Park in Nottingham. And this particular event is a race against time. The fastest team to cross a line just south of Newark, passing between two railway bridges, is the winner. During our summer, the balloons must fly in the early morning or late afternoon. Between these times, ballooning can become dangerous due to thermals set up by the heat of the day. You see, a city heats up the air above it far more than, say, a stretch of water, and as a result, treacherous air currents can be set up. It may all look like a beautiful, relaxed experience, but for the handling crews, the moment of liftoff fills the air with urgency as they await the critical moment when the starter drops his hands and declares them airborne. key to success is regulating the temperature of the air in the balloon to adjust the height. Believe it or not, the wind directions change at different altitudes, so it's important to find the one that's going your way. Well, it looks a beautiful sight, and I've got a hunch that it's also a thrilling experience. But you don't just jump into a balloon and take off. You need to go with an expert, and with me is an expert, John Webster. John, before we actually take off in this balloon, perhaps you could tell me, how does a normal person in the street start? How do you become a member of a ballooning club?
Really, you've got to try and find one of the very few of the ones there are, John. There aren't very many in England. The easiest way, really, to find out is to get in touch with the British Balloon and Airship Club, and they can tell you the nearest one, but there aren't many. It's very difficult. It's mainly syndicates of people who get together and buy a small one for about £3,500, or something like this where they get a sponsor and the sponsor lets the club fly it, in which case the balloonists perhaps fly free of charge, which ours do, and they're very lucky. And of course the sponsor then gets very low-cost advertising, really, so it's good value for him, good value for the balloonists. That's really how you start, by trying to find a generous sponsor.
Well, that latter idea seems to be the only way the man in the street could take part, because £3,500 for a balloon is a lot of money. I should imagine the running costs are quite high, aren't they?
Yes, and £3,500 only buys you a very small basic one. On top of that, you then got your running costs, and if we fly this one for an hour, it's a minimum of about £8 in fuel, and then it's about a minimum of £3 or £4 or even £10 in insurance, depending on how often you fly. And then there's a retrieve vehicle, which is expensive, and there's maintenance and depreciation. So, you know, really one says £30 to £40 an hour. Now, for an advertiser, that's very cheap, we tell them. But for a private person, it's impossibly expensive.
What sort of person is a member of your club? What people do apply?
We had all sorts. We've got a young boy, Christopher Stafford, who's 15. We've got a gentleman of 86 who's just applied to join. You find nearly all people who join are aviation enthusiasts. Either they fly gliders or aeroplanes, or they've probably just seen a balloon and always wanted to do it.
Lovely. We'll have a go then. You've convinced me it's safe. Now what do we do next?
Yes, I suppose it's fairly safe. Well, we're on a big strong rope, so you can't go wrong. We'll take it up to about 100 feet and see how we go. This is the burner. Well, there you are, you've taken it off.
We're going
Give it another burn to keep it going up.
Another one?
Yeah. Right, that's it. Now let's see how far that takes us. So there you are, you know, you can't be frightened with something like this because you're only 60 feet from the ground. Let's
Really?
just take it up again, I'll do it.
Okay.
There we are at 100 feet, and you see, if you don't feel frightened now, well, we've established that you're okay this far, and then we could try you on a free flight.
Well,
But having got you here, if you're a pilot, we teach you to hold it level at this height. Now, you see the rope's just slightly less than tense.
Yes,
Now, if we can just hold it like that, that's good level flying. And it's learning the length of the burns that you need to do that, you see, which is teaching you burner control. We can actually come down inches at a time, as we're doing now, just inching down, do you see?
After my lesson, I was invited to fly one of these balloons. It's a peaceful and exhilarating experience. We weren't competing, it was just for fun. A quick hop over Woollerton Hall, in fact. Meanwhile, the race continues, following maps and air currents, navigating to find this railway line. Well, I must confess that coming down is the worst bit. But now for a bit of uplift from our barbershop chorus.
When I hear Dixieland jazz and razzmatazz, I long to hear piano roll blues. I want to hear it again, I want to hear it again. The old piano roll blues. We're sitting at an upright, my sweetie and me, pushing on the pedals, making sweet harmony. When we hear rinkety-tink and we hear blinkety-blink, we come closer it seems, and while we kiss, kiss, kiss away all our cares, the player piano's playing razzmatazz. I want to hear it again, I want to hear it again. The old piano roll blues. Let me hear piano roll razzmatazz. How I love that Dixieland jazz. I wanna hear it again, I wanna hear it again. The old piano roll blues. We're sitting at an upright, my sweetie and me, pushing on the pedals, making sweet harmony. When we hear rinkety-tink and we hear blinkety-blink, we come closer it seems, and while we kiss, kiss, kiss away all our cares, the player piano's playing razzmatazz. I wanna hear it again, I wanna hear it again. The old piano roll blues, piano roll blues. Oh, won't you play? Please won't you play? Please play. Please don't delay. Why don't you play those low down? The old piano roll razzmatazz.
The old piano roll blues from the Anvil Chorus of the West Midland Barbershop Harmony Club. And they're looking for new members. Their address, plus information about all the other items in this programme, are on this week's fact sheet. Now please send a stamped address envelope, and don't forget, stamped address envelope, to John Holmes, Sparetime, BBC Midlands, Birmingham B5 7QQ. May I say now how very much we've appreciated all your letters of encouragement throughout the series. Thanks to all our Sparetime contributors and all the people working behind the scenes. We hope you've enjoyed it, and it may perhaps get you started on some new Sparetime activities of your own. I'm going to leave you still up in the air and hope that you don't come down with too much of a bump. Good night.